Microsoft Xbox Elite Series 2, the best. If you have a boatload of money to spend on a premium controller, then we can only recommend the Elite Series 2, a gamepad with paramount build quality, ideal for those who play both online and in single player. The second series introduced a series of new features related to the number of additional profiles, a better rubber coating, new customization options, and an integrated battery that allows you to play for over 40 hours. This Pro controller also allows you to completely customize it as you like, includes additional paddles in the back, and offers dedicated settings for limiting trigger travel. Microsoft Xbox One Elite, a valid alternative. Microsoft's Xbox One Elite is the dream of every pro gamer. This is a better, cozier, and above all sturdier version of the standard Xbox One controller. It gives you the option of sweeping out individual parts, and thus to adapt the gamepad not only to your own taste, but also to your personal style of play. The Elite has several analog sticks with different height and shape. In addition, the activation travel of the trigger buttons can be significantly shortened, which allows you to shoot much faster in first-person shooters, and therefore gain a competitive advantage over your opponents. So, if you're looking for the ultimate PC controller, that will make your gameplay easier, and your opponent's life a living hell, the Xbox One Elite controller is the one for you. Astro Gaming C40 TR, a modular alternative. Considered a premium controller, the Astro Gaming C40 TR is intended for hardcore gamers that want to invest heavily in a unique peripheral that is considered to be among the very best controllers for PC. With a spectacular design, this controller is clearly inspired by Sony's DualShock 4 gamepad. However, this is a more advanced version that sports impeccable build quality and looks way more attractive. The user experience is also unique. Astro uses proprietary software that allows for complete customization of the buttons, and fine adjustments of the various sticks and triggers. All in all, this is a signature product, from a company that has already created some of the best cutting-edge gaming accessories in the world. Microsoft Xbox Wireless Controller, best Xbox controller for PC. The Microsoft Xbox One controller is still the gold standard for PC games. With the launch of the Xbox Series S and X consoles, we were all curious to see how Microsoft would improve this almost perfect gamepad. The Microsoft Xbox wireless controller retains much of what we like about the original. It still features textured rubber grips which are very comfortable for long gaming sessions. On the back, the texturized surface has been extended to include the triggers for added grip and precision, and similar to the original, it boasts perhaps the best hybrid domed D-pad in existence. It is similar to the one we find on the Xbox Elite series controllers, and perfect for use in fighting games. Unfortunately, it has been shifted towards the center of the controller, so it's a tad less comfortable to use than the D-pad we find on Sony's controllers. The new button in the center of the controller, which differentiates it from the previous model, is the share button that allows you to capture screenshots and clips without having to juggle with menus. In addition, the shape of the controller has been optimized so that it fits a wider range of hand dimensions and sizes. Being a Microsoft product, there's native compatibility with Windows 10, all you need is Bluetooth connectivity or a USB-C port, and even recent versions of Mac OS and iOS have added support for it. About wireless connectivity, this controller takes full advantage of Microsoft's wireless protocol, called Xbox Wireless, that works wonders for Bluetooth compatibility. The only downside is that if you want to game wirelessly, you'll need two AA batteries or a rechargeable battery pack which is sold separately. Most other wireless controllers include a built-in rechargeable battery nowadays. Sony DualSense, best PlayStation controller for PC. The Sony DualShock 4 controller is great, and with Bluetooth connectivity, you don't have to tinker much to be able to connect it to a PC wirelessly, like you have to do with the Microsoft Xbox One controller. Now, Sony offers its updated version, the DualSense. The new controller drastically changes the aesthetics of the original. It is bigger and more futuristic, but maintains the same symmetrical arrangement of its analog sticks, and includes features that you can't find elsewhere. The Sony DualSense has a feel that you have to try to believe, thanks to its new haptic motors and adaptive resistance triggers. In addition, PC support is even better now. Sadly, the advanced features that we talked about before still don't work in PC games. Fortunately, however, Steam already offers full support for the controller, and there are plans to support the touchpad and adaptive triggers on Windows 10. With so many exclusive PlayStation games that end up being ported on PC, full support for DualSense is the best way to play those titles. Due to its size, it is somewhat less comfortable than the Microsoft Xbox wireless controller, but if you prefer Sony's symmetrical layout, or aim using the built-in gyroscope, for games and platforms that support it, this is the controller you need to get.
Razer Wolverine V2, best PC controller for competitive games. Although Microsoft and Sony's long experience with gaming consoles means that their controllers are the default option for most of us, there are some great third-party alternatives to consider. The Razer Wolverine V2 is one of these options, mainly thanks to the use of mechanical switches, hair trigger mode, and 2 extra bumper buttons. In fact, its 4 face buttons and directional pad use Razer's Mecha tactile switches, which means that they have an actuation distance of just 0.65 mm, and offer tactile feedback that none of the other controllers can match. This controller can be customized in the Razer Controller Setup app, available for Xbox and PC, where you can remap the buttons and adjust the sensitivity of the analog sticks and the amount of vibration. Although pricier, the Razer Wolverine V2 is an upgrade over the Microsoft Xbox wireless controller, and it's worth considering if you play competitive games that are compatible with a gamepad.
Microsoft Xbox One controller, the best for most people. The Microsoft Xbox One controller is undoubtedly the gold standard for PC gamepads, and it's easy to see why. This gamepad is comfortable, well built, reliable, and it works with any PC game that supports a controller. The D-pad is way better than the one on the 360, and ensures better accuracy. The shoulder buttons are slightly arched so that the controller fits better in the hands, and also allow for a much safer grip. The sticks are also slightly curved inwards, which makes it very difficult for the thumb to slip off. And since the price is also lower, the Microsoft Xbox One controller deserves the title of the best gamepad for most people. Sony DualShock 4, a symmetrical alternative. The sales of the PlayStation 4 have long overshadowed those of the Xbox One. Accordingly, most console players use Sony's DualShock 4 controller. The good news is that this gamepad can also be connected to the PC. The bad, it's a bit more complicated than plug and play. The DualShock 4 comes with a small premium in price, and as great as the Xbox controller may be, Sony has somehow managed to surpass it both in comfort and quality. The sticks are a bit larger and therefore have a better handling. The grip also feels a bit more comfortable. In addition, the DualShock 4 boasts a rechargeable battery. Once you try it, it will feel like this feature should be a standard. On the other hand, if a PC game doesn't have innate support for Sony's controller, it will be far more complicated to make it work. You will need some third-party software that tricks the game into thinking that you are using an Xbox controller. Apart from that, the DualShock 4 is a fantastic gamepad. Razer Wolverine Ultimate, best wired PC controller. While admittedly we prefer to game with a wireless gamepad, the Wolverine gives Razer the edge in competitive games. The controller works with both the PC and Xbox One, and reminds us of Microsoft's Elite controller. The Wolverine also offers numerous, unique, and above all useful additional buttons. The buttons are clicky, and remind us of a mouse's left and right click when pressed. Although this may not sound like much, it makes a huge difference. It is like swapping a membrane keyboard for a mechanical one. And while the included 3 meters USB cable is a bit annoying, the tactile buttons make up for it.
Turtle Beach Recon controller, a valid alternative. For a cheaper alternative, consider the Turtle Beach Recon controller. It is very similar to the Microsoft Xbox wireless controller, and works out of the box with a wide range of PC games. It also boasts numerous and surprising additional features, including 2 remappable quick-action rear buttons, multiple modes that adjust the sensitivity of the analog sticks, as well as ergonomic rubberized grips. On top of all this, the Turtle Beach Recon also provides a headphone connection directly on the controller, and goes a step further by also including an audio control panel at the top of the gamepad. These buttons allow you to choose between different equalizer presets to ensure that the game sound is ideal for your needs. It also has a superhuman hearing auditory mode, which aims to reduce the volume of certain parts of the audio so that you can more accurately hear softer sounds such as footsteps. If this mix of features seems essential to you, we recommend it over the Microsoft Xbox wireless controller, even at the expense of wireless connectivity.
SteelSeries Stratus Duo, the most versatile. The Stratus Duo looks like a controller created for mobile devices and VR headsets, but it's also a good choice for the PC. It is fairly light, partly because it lacks a rumble function. This reduces the price and it also helps extend the autonomy of the built-in battery to about 20 hours. Windows registers it as an Xbox controller. It also works on both iOS and Android. The Stratus Duo is a great PC controller and is ideal for cross-platform gamers who want an all-in